the regular city council meeting Monday, December 5th, 2022 at 5:51 p.m.
Mr. Mayor, I don't think your mic's on.
There's always something. Please silence your cell phones as we, to limit any interruptions. Roll call, please.
Burlingame,
Here.
Evans,
Here.
Dancer,
Here.
Olson,
Here.
Pittner,
Here.
Patagula,
Here.
Ross.
Here. Item 2, Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And we do have, I believe we do have City Manager Harold Stewart is online with us, joining us via Teams. Moving on to item number 3, the mayor's report. Not a whole lot to talk about. The highlights of what has happened since the last meeting. We had a couple of tree lightings downtown. One had a pretty big crowd downtown for the downtown. And then at the Minot Area Commission of the Arts, we followed that up the next day. Was in Bismarck today, meeting with legislators on a variety of topics, along with, and then just coming back from a trip from Fargo, where a group from the chamber and some area legislators went to Fargo to meet with legislative counterparts down in Fargo. Met with the mayors of Fargo and West Fargo, and it really, you know, there seems to be this, well, there's always seemed to be kind of an East Dakota and West Dakota type of notion out there, but the feeling that I got from the meeting was there's only one, and it's only North Dakota. So we were really well received down there. We had productive discussion, and I'm looking forward to growing that relationship with the Fargo legislators, as well as the mayor of Fargo and the mayor of West Fargo. So that is my report. Any questions? Yes,
Are
Steve.
we going to be having a meeting to talk about legislative priorities?
Ask that again,
Are
Steve.
we going to be having a meeting to talk about legislative priorities?
You know, I know the chamber has one scheduled, they have one scheduled this week, a legislative roundtable.
But Shane usually comes and does
Right.
time for us.
And I think Harold, if you're online, Harold, but I talked with Shane today, and I think Shane is scheduled to address the council on the 19th.
Oh, okay.
I think you'll be
Okay, thank you.
be here on the 19th.
Is that correct, Mr. City Manager?
Yes, that's correct. I have scheduled Mr. Gettle to come and have a discussion with council so that you can direct him on any council priorities that you have that you would like him and city staff to work on this next legislative session.
Thank you, Harold. I guess jumping on to that, since you're in front of your camera, Harold, you can take item 4, the city manager's report.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, Alderman, Alderwoman, sorry to join remotely today. I'm a little under the weather today. Didn't want to get anybody sick. So, but you have my city manager report included in the packet. One item that has developed since that memo was prepared is we did have a meeting with representatives regarding the CTE project late last week. There's some things that we'll need to discuss in open session with the council that will be on the next agenda item, or not, I'm sorry, not the next agenda, the next city council meeting on the 19th as well. So we'll need some direction from council on how to proceed with regards to that project and some of the challenges that we were recently made aware of. But other than that, I'd be happy to answer any questions that the council may have regarding the memo or any other items regarding the city organization.
Any other questions? If not,
I do have them. So the city manager in his report brought up, the city attorney now falls under the purview of council. And this would be the time of year we would normally be doing the city attorney's annual evaluation. However, the newest city attorney has only been in that position for a few weeks. So I would like to make a motion to defer the evaluation of the city attorney for 1 year and direct the human resource staff to assist the council with facilitating completion of the evaluation by December 31st, 2023.
There is a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Paul. Any further discussion? If not, please call the roll.
Evans,
Yes.
Janser,
Yes.
Olson,
Yes.
Bittner,
Yes.
Patricola,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Burlingame.
Yes. Motion carried. Moving on to item number 5, the city attorney report.
Mayor and council, I've submitted a written report to the council is attached in your packets. One item I've been working on since the publication of the agenda and that report is that in years past, we've scheduled an open records, open meetings training with the Attorney General's office. And so I've reached out to their open records, open meetings attorney that carries that portfolio for that office, Annika Lockhart, to see if she could come up and do another training for city staff and the council and any public members of the public that wish to attend. She's not available until after the legislative session, so that won't be scheduled until this summer. But in the meantime, if anybody has any open records, open meetings, questions, or concerns, you can send them to me, and I can send out any additional materials if you have any questions on those particular areas of the law.
Thank you, Steph. Any questions? Okay, let's move on to item 6, and that is our consent items. We have 19 items on our consent agenda. No one from the dais asked to have anything pulled. If there's anything that needs to be pulled from the audience, speak up now. If not, what are the wishes of the council?
Move approval.
Got a motion by Paul. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Lisa. Any discussion? No discussion. Please call the roll.
Bittner,
Yes.
Patricola,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Burlingame,
Yes.
Evans,
Yes.
Janser,
Yes.
Olson.
Yes.
Moving on to action items, 7.1, the 2022 North Dakota Building Code adoption. What are the wishes of the council?
Move approval.
Second.
Got a motion by Paul, second by Mark. Is there any discussion?
Is Lance still, Luke's not here, is he? Oh, Luke, I just have a question for you. I know you know the answer. So so with the adoption of this, how do then the people who have to comply with it, like how do they know do they buy copies of the ICC code? Like how do they know what the new code is?
Mayor Ross.
I don't think your microphone's on.
your
Is
mic
the
on?
microphone on?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, much better.
How about now?
Yeah.
It's on.
Okay. There is a copy of the code in my office if
Okay.
someone from the public wants to view the code. Also, the codes are available for anybody to purchase at iccsafe.com. So that is how it's available.
Okay.
So
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that people heard that it was available. Maybe we can get our library to buy a copy too.
I can buy the library a copy.
Oh, look at that,
That's necessary.
Janet, we're adding to your reserves. Thanks, Luke, that's all I have.
Thank you, Luke. Any other questions, comments? If not, call the roll.
Bittner,
Yes.
Patricola,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Burlingame,
Yes.
Evans,
Yes.
Janser,
Yes.
Olson.
Yes.
Moving on to item 7.2, the CP Rail Downtown Quiet Zone Engineering Selection. What are the wishes of the council?
Approve the item.
Moved by Mark,
Second.
second by Paul. Any discussion? Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Janser,
Yes.
Olson,
Yes.
Bittner,
Yes.
Patricola,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Burlingame,
Yes.
Evans.
Yes.
Moving on to item 7.3, the 2020-2021 abatement request for commercial parcel MI 19.C99.000.0020 owned by Floros Incorporated. What are the wishes of the council?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Mark.
I would move the city assessor's recommendation of a partial abatement as stated in the agenda.
Motion by Mark for a partial abatement,
Second. Well, the recommendation, right? Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
the recommendation in the,
Yep.
in the
Second by Carrie. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Anyone wishing to speak to the council on this issue?
Hi, my name is Ryan Corney. I'm an attorney with Olson Burns, appearing on behalf of Floros Inc. today. Appreciate the motion. Happy to answer any questions if there are any from the council. But again, we're in support of the partial abatement request and support that. So thank you.
Any questions? Questions or comments? If not, please call the roll.
Janser,
yes.
Olson,
Yes.
Pittner,
Yes.
Quadrigula,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Burlingame,
Yes.
Evans.
Yes.
Moving on to item 8, personal appearances. This is a time when anybody from the audience can come and address the council. Is there anybody wishing to address the council? If not, we will move on to item 9, and that's miscellaneous and discussion items.
Mr. Lakefield.
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, I just wanted to give you a little bit of an update on some bonds that the city is contemplating issuing. We had looked at this earlier this fall when we issued the TIF bonds in support of the M building project. At that time, interest rates had ticked up, and it wasn't economically feasible for us to refund these refund improvement bonds that were outstanding with the city. Since then, the rates have ticked down on municipal bonds, so there is an economic advantage for us to refund these bonds and issue replacement bonds. We're on a little bit of a tight time frame with this, so we're going to be a little bit outside of the normal course of business for issuing these bonds. Because we recently had the prior issuance, we can get the updated rating through Moody's relatively quickly. Dorsey Whitney can turn around the bond paperwork relatively quickly, and the bond company wants to have the bonds issued and settled by the end of the year. So we're on a pretty tight time frame. So with the council's permission, what's being proposed by the financial advisors that we go to market quickly. We would actually sell these bonds on December 12th. And they're asking for me to authorize the sale price of the bonds. We'd have that decision ratified by the council on the meeting at the 19th, and we would settle these bonds by December 29th. So it's a pretty tight time frame, a little bit outside the ordinary course of business. There is a fairly considerable financial advantage for us to do this at this time frame. So that's why I'm up here kind of asking permission to do this course of action.
Paul?
I'll make a motion to grant the finance director to do what he just said.
Right, which is basically go to market on 12/12, right? And then,
Mr. Mayor, Alderwoman Evans, yes, the bonds would be sold on December 12th.
Yeah.
As you recall, the bonds that we just sold here a few weeks ago, the sale date was the morning of the council meeting, and then the council approved them at the meeting that evening. So they want that approval relatively quickly so they can turn these around. There's a good faith deposit that has to be done by the broker that's a successful bidder on the bond, so things have to happen in relatively short succession.
second.
So we have a motion by Paul, and I think Scott had the second on that. Any further discussion?
No, but thanks for staying on top of this and like being, astute and, getting us the best we can. So appreciate it.
Thank you.
So am I correct in saying that the motion is just go to market with the bonds on 12/12?
If that works for Dave, that works for me.
Well, Dave, you can get, what language do you need the motion to say, Dave, to give you?
Is it just to go to market on 12/12 with the bonds?
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, I think it would be for me to authorize or accept the purchase price of the bonds, and then that decision would be ratified by the council at the meeting on the 19th.
Okay.
Call the roll.
Pittner,
Yes.
Quadrigula,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Burlingame,
Yes.
Evans,
Yes.
Janser,
Yes.
Olson.
Yes.
Motion carried. Item 10, adjournment.
Wait, I have one discussion.
Oh,
Are we
I'm
still in
sorry.
discussion?
Yeah, we're still in discussion.
Dan, can you, I have that bus stop thing I want to talk about. No, not you, Dan. I want him to. So at our last meeting, we had a resident talk about the problem, and it's a real problem, of the bus stop at Walmart being pretty far away from the doors of the store. And as I thought, right, our Public Works Director and staff had already talked about this issue and stuff, but Dan, just for the sake of everybody hearing it, tell us what the history is of that bus stop and why it is where it is.
Sure, Mr. Mayor, Alderwoman Evans. The bus stop out at Walmart used to be a lot closer. It actually used to be, if you're familiar with Walmart, right near the Tire Center entrance. Walmart was doing a bunch of construction. They asked us to move it off of their property. We had moved it a little further to the north towards 37th. We had some complaints from local business there that the users of the bus stop were waiting in their lobby all the time. So we tried to find a place on Walmart's property to put it. They weren't receptive to providing a location to us. So we had to move it out to 37th Avenue. That is the closest location that we could find on the Walmart property and still maintain access to them for our transit users. So we have looked into it. We've like I said, we've reached out to Walmart corporate several times. The last few times with no answer back from them at all.
Right. So yeah, I appreciate that response, and that the city has been pretty vigilant in recognizing that's a problem and doing the best that we can. And it really, there's nothing, we can force a private, business to do. But I appreciate that, and the resident, appreciates too, as well as that. So thanks for bringing that to our attention and for giving us the history, Dan. Thanks.
Yep. If I could add to that too, I know the gentleman also had issues with the marquee on the bus where the S from the Scandinavian Heritage Center is missing.
Oh, yes.
That's not something that we can readily modify. Just go add an S in there. It pulls that text off of the verbal announcement when it's coming up there.
Oh.
So the company, we're trying to get them to fix it for us.
Okay.
But at this time, we aren't able to manually go in and just add an S to it. So we are looking into it.
Okay.
And trying to get that corrected also.
Appreciate that. I always appreciate Public Works' responsiveness to public concerns. It may seem, minor, but for some of our residents, it's a big deal. So thank you for always being on top of it, Dan.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dan. Any other items for miscellaneous?
No.
Okay. If not, we can move on to item 10, and that's adjournment.
So moved.
Motion by Paul, second by Mark.
We had a longer executive
All in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you, folks.